These are all due about last week of March. I think as early as the 25th actually. I did put the tups in a bit earlier this time. They were moved up here a few days ago because it was they were penned up to have their Heptavac jab, and there's so much grass up here. I thought they may as well have some of it, so they stayed up here. This is generally where we move them around about lambing time, but since it's quite mild, they aren't really heating any hay anymore, and they all look quite heavy in lamb. Needless to say, there's only one that's a bit skinny looking. That grey-faced one there, she was grey, pale brown. She was a bit dodgy. I did her foot when I had them in, but generally they're all quite fit. There's just one other one's a bit funny looking, and also the old Suffolk tup. He hasn't really been all that well for a while, but he had mainly a foot problem because he had absolutely terrible feet, in Suffolk. So I got him a bit better than he was, but they're just sort of a bit beyond salvation, to be honest. They're sort of all grown and funny. And that's the Texel tup with the big goolies. And this is the Suffolk that's coming up. He does look a bit better actually. He's improved quite a bit. He was having a problem with one of his front feet. It was like a piece coming off the side, which was catching on grass, I think, to be fair. But I quite like feeding up in this little plantation because the roots are so dense that they keep it quite dry. Even when it's wet, it's dry here. But there's only limited areas you can feed them in, so it tends to get a bit muddy. Well, not so much muddy as mucky if you keep going there. Now, this area up here, like we had, what was it, November 21, we had a big storm from the north at the very end of November, and probably about 10 trees came down, and there's some more yet. There's one further up, it's still sort of hanging on, it's not dead, not fallen over completely, so it's a bit dangerous in a way. But between us locally, we've been gradually tidying things up, because you used to be able to drive up here with a quad bike, but there were so many trees came down, it was a nightmare. They're absolutely massive, these some of these old pines and things where they will be planted. People always ask when they're planted. Well, I think it was sort of 1910, 1920s at latest, that sort of period. So they're well over 100-year-old. See, these are, when they're laid flat on the ground like that, they get very wet, but there's still plenty of good firewood in there. It was logged up and kept under cover. And there's two great big ones here, more or less intact still. They've been detached from their roots. I sawed them off at the root ball, hoping the root ball would fall back down, but it didn't. And there are two more across here, which again, I thought it was me that cut them off. Because ideally you want them the root ball to fall back down, because otherwise it'll be like that for about 50 years stuck here. And there's one more further over. I did cut it off, but I couldn't get it to fall because it's leaning on another tree. So they're a bit of a major hazard. But if we could get through past these here, we could get to, there's another 2 or 3 laid down up there. It's not the best firewood, but it works quite well in in a stove. I've been burning it most this winter really. I did have some other stuff as well, but especially as what I got sort of September time, it's actually amazing how well it burns, and it burns relatively quickly but quite a lot of heat for it. And they're quite easy to sew up really, but you're more or less sewing them completely with the chainsaw and then splitting them. But the main idea is try to get it a bit more tidied up so you can actually get up here, because sometimes you're trying to round the sheep up. They know you can't get up here with a quad bike, and they head this way straight away. And plus, say they're lambing or something, sometimes they go up in among this slot, and you can't even see it, let alone get up to one with a quad bike if you wanted to pick them up or anything.